Hi, my name is Laura, and this is the Outlet Unplugged presents 10 Questions. Tonight we have the band Decaysia, who will be performing at the Sterling Hotel on January 18th at the Lehigh Valley Metal Revival. And I know some of your names, but not all, so I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Thanks, Laura. I'm Steve Nichols. I do backing vocals and guitars for the band.
I'm Chris. I do bass.
I am Metal, Tom Capperell, and I am the drummer.
I am Eric Voorhees. I play guitar in the band, lead guitar.
I'm Lance Cordes. I'm now the singer of the band.
Yeah.
I'm the big addition.
It's our new boy.
And we'll talk a lot more about that later. Could you define your sound?
It's big, it's powerful, it's raw. Doesn't sound like anything. We bring different musical attributes to the table, all over the metal spectrum, from what we've been influenced to what we currently like. And it's really heavy, thrashy, melodic. And Lance, what do you think as far as the vocals are going to be now? How would you describe?
I don't know. It's definitely very high energy music. It's a lot of fun. Very easy to start a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's also very melodic. There's a lot of like almost like 70s hard rock influence in some of the bridges. So it's pretty cool.
Definitely. We try to mix it up, keep it progressive but heavy and melodic. Just blend the favorite parts of each, so like the musical genres or whatever we like.
A lot of dynamics going on.
It's really hard to just pin us to
Yeah.
one thing.
We usually say we're a smorgasbord of metal.
Yeah,
You like-
basically.
You like metal.
I mean, the
If you
album,
like metal, you're gonna like Decaysia.
our album that we just released a year ago from yesterday, from Cast Creation, that no song sounded alike in any way. And of the new stuff that we've already written, nothing sounds alike in itself. But yet we do certain formulas and certain repetitive attributes maybe that you'll hear that can form the cognizance of that's Decaysia's sound, you know, that you can relate to. So,
A certain theme?
yeah, yeah.
I read one way you described your music is that like each individual has a specific part to the overall sound where you can like capture every like nuance, and you don't really, at least in my limited scope of this genre, I that's so cool to hear that, you know, as metal, that there's more to just like the general overall
Noise.
you know, noise, and, you know, just
That-
like screaming
metal-
and that's it.
a lot
More to it
The
than
metal,
Yeah.
as far as like a music genre goes, is like one of the most like, you can't put metal in the jazz, but you can put jazz in the metal. You can do all kinds of other styles of music. And put it into it,
and
blues. I mean, there's tons of metal bands based on blues, you know, like blues riffs. They just throw some chugs in there and boom, you got, you know, something new and exciting to listen to.
And
So as
to
far
relate
as
to
metal
ourselves.
goes, like for us, and since we're all progressive like that music, we're all dynamic people as individuals, it's great you can do that.
And
we
we're all
can get away with it.
very well played musicians, you know, studied our craft for a long time, know how to apply it. And that's another part. It's a beautiful thing when somebody comes up and says, I love how I can pick out each instrument or each person in there, but yet as it all comes together, it flows and gels so nice. That's a great compliment, because some stuff is noise and other stuff is really well broken down and produced and put together as a song should be, you know, other parts complementing other parts.
And it's nice when music can come together like that, you know.
And that's what's so special about Lance here, especially not only working on the stuff we already have out, but right away on the first time that he came with us, threw down on some new stuff, and it was right in line with what we had heard. And to know that he can hear something and hear the same thing to accompany it as us, that's comforting and is part of the chemistry, you know.
Yeah, it makes it easier to work
Yeah.
as well. When you try to explain one part for 5 hours to someone, you know.
You don't have to drag it out of them.
Yeah, yeah, it comes natural, and that's, awesome thing to have, especially in this band, because a lot of us, we'll just jam for hours on end. It's just how we are.
That's great.
It's good to finally find someone who can do that.
Yeah.
Vocally.
Yeah, because it seems like you already have definitely like defined chemistry and to have like a new element.
As far as the instruments go,
Yeah.
At this point in Decaysia's.
Chemistry is really important in the creative process, writing and jamming.
And the fact that Lance can be intimate with it, and he'll be able to perform, he'll be able to listen, offer ideas. It's just a very comfy, welcoming atmosphere that's gonna produce some
Awesome music.
Exciting stuff. Now, for this show that's coming up on January 18th, the main theme is a revival of metal. Can you touch upon this aspect? Any?
Sterling had metal shows before, and then there was nothing. And I mean, this area is hit or miss. There's not too many good venues. Croc Rock, lost their liquor license, so nobody goes there anymore. That's a dying thing. There's the Bethlehem Sands place, but that's not for local music, or that's like your national radio acts that are playing through there. So as far as it's hard, But that place had a decent stage and it's a big bar,
and it had the brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And just if you were going to
people
look for
knew.
music, you went.
Yeah, people knew like hard rock metal stuff played there, but it's been a while, and I know they had like maybe I think one metal show since then, like a couple months, 6 months, a year.
And
But it'd be nice to bring it back, no
toxic relationships, no BS. Pure, simple. Hey, we want to see people come to your venue to benefit you, while we benefit us and strengthen the scene, and just revive it. And that's why it is a Lehigh Valley Metal Revival. Just as much as reviving the scene as reviving the hub of where it can be at. Being back in Sterling the other night, just doing sound check.
Oh yeah.
It brought back lots of memories, and I can't wait to see that bar full again.
And it definitely will be. And talking about the revival, where do you feel that metal music in this area is heading?
For 2014, we have high hopes for it. There's been a little internal communication as far as working directly with certain venues, proper representation of the metal scene, putting together rap packs with different bands that we're very tight with, like the rest of the bands that are going to be on the bill with us that night. So it's really about creating the right scene and the right image with it, so we can say, hey, we can benefit your business by bringing patrons in, and you can be important and showcase local talent while doing so.
And do you see a lot of brotherhood in the metal scene as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as
Oh,
helping
absolutely.
each other out?
it's always been that way.
Man.
I mean, that's how we came across Lance in the first place.
Exactly. And Tom.
Yeah.
There's
Just
like
knowing
this
other
subculture
bands,
that
Yeah, through other bands.
Yeah.
All the bands, we all know each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
We'll hang
I
out
played
together
with this
shows.
band and another band, previously. I was in a band from Jersey drumming, and I played with these guys with, when they had their old members, and then, they lost their drummer, and he just so happened to find me at the top of Bake Oven Knob one day, and was just like, yeah, I'm like, no, my band broke up recently too. So we just, it's cool, because it's like, metal's always been, it's underground, a lot of people, if you're not part of it, you don't know about it, kind of deal.
It
But
doesn't
it's,
seem like a competition. It seems
yeah,
like,
but it's really close.
It's
Everybody,
nice.
like, we always get along with bands. Like,
Yeah.
we have all each other's shirts. We hang out other than just playing, Like, you really do become friends with these people, and it's cool.
Like Lance, before we found out he wanted to venture back down the road of focusing on vocals, he also played bass at the same time. Chrissy had a kid last May, and with his wife Charlie,
Yeah.
who's awesome.
Youngest Decaysia fan.
Yes, and we had brought Lance in just to learn the parts in case we had to let Chris get some family time and everything. So, I mean, Lance was a year ago willing to lend a hand to us because it's a brotherhood, it's a family, the whole scene. You go to shows, you hug, you hug, you hug, you hug. What's up, brother? You're drinking, cheers.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
It's a beautiful thing,
Nobody's shooting each other. Crazy stuff.
There's no stabbings at the
Yeah, no stabbing.
I ain't gonna cut you.
Yeah,
across the street from the Sterling. You
Yeah.
see that.
yeah,
Do you see that in other like genres of music like act in that way? I mean,
No,
Not really.
not really. I
So
think
much.
metal. That's why metal's so like special and like important to like us, especially, is because of that. It's not really well known. There's a lot of people that are into it, but it's very spread out, like worldwide, even. You know.
It's our own little island of misfits.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But the camaraderie is always there. you
Very
know, like-
supportive of each other.
Yes.
that's awesome.
Like you could be opposite ends of the country and see a metalhead, you know, like whether they're wearing a shirt, a vest, a patch or something, and you just,
It's,
What's up, brother?
Yeah, it's instant.
How are you?
Yeah, instant friend. You know.
That's great.
But,
Now we're gonna focus on Lance again once
dun,
more
dun, dun.
and talk about more of, I guess, the transition and what that's been like for for you. How's it been?
Actually, it's been very smooth. I came in, I've just been to a few practices, and pretty much I listen to their music and write down what I think the lyrics are, because it's a lot of screaming, so it's sometimes it's hard to determine exactly what's being said. So I just write them down and practice that. Come to practice a few times, and it's working very well. I mean, we all seem to mesh together very well.
His
a
voice
great
fits
time.
perfectly.
Yeah.
It does, it does. We're a very diverse band as far as
he
what we
brings the
offer.
range.
Yeah.
From A to Z, his voice can go. And just complement it in any aspect. If it's slow and it's eerie, he can do something, clean and melodic to accompany that. He can scream high, low, in the middle, in your face. I mean, it's brutal. What you're going to see on the 18th is pure sickness. That's for sure.
And how do you I guess, deal with I can imagine the vocal strain. I mean, do you expect, I guess if you don't do it right,
He
there
does
is,
it right.
Oh, if you
there is a lot of
if you
vocal
don't
strain.
do it right, you can injure yourself. easily.
Yeah.
You can rip a vocal cord, you blow your voice out. So there's a lot of people that they try to scream, and without proper exercises, without warming up your voice, you can just tear a cord, and that's it.
He was just practicing for an hour and a half before we came over here.
Yeah.
He was talking clear as day.
Wow.
So
And prior to that, half the day I've been singing at home,
he warms
warming
up.
up my voice and doing
and-
exercises.
Yep.
And is this something that you learned from someone, or is it just from you just studying on your own to develop that ability?
It's a little bit of both. My mother taught me how to sing when I was a kid. Apparently when I was a child, before I could speak, all I would do was sing. And I don't know, my mom has told me she videotaped it a bunch of times, but that's all I would do. Once I started learning words, I still did that, and I was just always singing growing up. And I learned from her. She has an amazing voice. So I learned to sing from my mom, and then I started listening to metal and trying to emulate the sounds that these guys are making and trying to scream like them. And a whole bunch of years of doing that, and sounding pretty bad at it to get it right.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
that's
start
practice.
somewhere.
Yeah. And then I saw a friend turn me on to the Zen of Screaming, which is it's all video tutorials from this woman who is an acclaimed vocal coach.
Melissa
And-
Cross.
Yep. And she studies exactly how the vocal box works and the right exercises that you need in order to make it perform better. So I started studying that, and it helped a lot.
That's
And
great.
it turned everything around. It made everything easier. So now I just use those warm-ups and go from there.
Wow, that's a good, it's good that you mentioned this, how to, sing, as a metal artist, for people, that will be watching this, if they're interested in singing, so they know the proper channels, so they don't, ruin their chances by singing
Yeah.
wrong, so
It's
that's-
easily, the vocal box is easily injured if you do it wrong. So,
I know, I would try to sing hardcore when I was a kid, and let me tell you, my throat was just so,
That's when it sounds the best.
oh, I know,
Nothing
I was singing
there, it's really
Eddie
scratchy.
Vedder and whoever, I was into.
well,
back
another thing,
then.
people don't realize that you don't have to do it that loud.
Yeah.
Most of
To
my
achieve
screaming
what you want.
is done just above speaking volume.
Oh,
That's about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't go very loud because if you push too hard, you could tear something.
And you have a mic for a reason.
Yeah, let the mic do the
Let
Let the
work.
mic
Yeah.
do the work.
that's very true.
You need
That
to
way
be
I
able
sound
to
like I
have
smoke
it.
3 packs a day.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be able to smoke 3 packs a day and sing for an hour every night.
Yep.
I know I'm
Gotta have your technique down for that.
okay, this is kind of isolated question, but I just want to hear like this. I just want to know from my own. What would be a band that your fans would be surprised that you liked?
Avenged Sevenfold.
I don't like that.
I'm surprised.
That's like I'm talking about like that's like it's your hidden shame. Like
Oh,
it's like,
guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Oh wow, Jesus! I love a reggae band called Soja. These guys make fun of me for it all the time, but yet they've jammed and hummed the songs. And it's upbeat stuff.
Yeah.
Jammed it.
Yeah.
I love Tom Waits.
I love David Gray and Matt Nathan.
Still?
Yeah, still. Still. I actually went to saw him with my wife the other day.
Aw. Are you guys gonna go to a concert?
I mean, we had before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, like, kind of like folky stuff.
What about Billy Idol?
No, I hate Billy.
No, that's Billy Squire.
Oh, Billy Squire is the worst.
I like Billy Squire.
I mean, Leonard Skinner, maybe.
Yeah.
We like to play that, jam that. It's pretty much as country as I get, though.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to like ambient music. I'm listening to just noise stuff. It's not even, it's just a bunch of noises. I listen to stuff like that. Like, I like everything. Jazz. I listen to jazz a lot.
And you, Lance?
Al Green, stuff like that.
Nice.
I don't know.
Well, it's good for bass players.
Yeah, that's the bass player side of me.
Yeah.
Al Green, Jamiroquai, stuff like that.
Oh, Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, we gotta shoot a video like that one. Lance is walking
back.
which way.
Yeah. That's fine. Let's see. What are some of your overall, I guess, themes when you write your music?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, because it is what the old album has, like its theme to it. Newer stuff might change because we have a new edition, new ideas.
Probably different lyrics.
I mean, the themes are metal, quote unquote. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, singing about happy things or, I mean, even if they are, it's still broad, like.
Each thing is its different theme depending on, where the progressiveness takes it, where the vocals may go with it. But each song is a valley of ups and downs and passages that, are pretty well put together and pretty well complemented by their counterpartners throughout. So it is cool when you can listen to a song all the way through, kind of buckle in, go for that ride. And that's what we go for. We let, each little thing speak for itself.
Yeah, it's not like overall theme or anything. I mean, and a lot of it's even just like general, so it's not even really specific to anything either.
Okay.
I mean, you could read the lyrics, listen to the songs, and everybody would have a million and one ways of interpreting what it means,
Yeah.
kind of deal, which is cool because that means it's open to people, of all kinds of people.
That's actually how I like writing too.
Yeah.
I love writing like that. If you can interpret the lyrics 15 different ways, good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Good.
That means you're thinking when you're listening to it. It's intriguing to your brain.
Anything to provoke thought.
Exactly, and that's hard to do nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
What?
It is.
We're being fed cotton candy stuff and
Yeah.
Spoon fed.
yeah.
Idiocracy. Once again.
Watch the movie Idiocracy.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's so scary because I see it happening.
Oh,
I'm voting for
every
President
day.
Camacho.
Me and Thomas look back and forth at each other like Idiocracy.
Yeah. Gatorade.
Luke Wilson, Idiocracy.
If you haven't seen it, go now. So you mentioned the writing process a little bit, and I know you have a second studio album coming out. How has the writing process been for this album, or just the whole process in general?
Then when it's good and when it's creative, it's really, really creative. And then usually we'll sit back on it for a while and just jam on a lot of the stuff that we had, what we remember. Primarily what we remember, we'll jam on that and then
We refine it and stuff.
refine it, and then from there, new things will pop in. A new idea start coming out.
But it's weird, that's when our chemistry comes into play, because we very seldom speak and say, change that, I don't like that, like we
We just play
almost
it.
ESP and telepathically communicate with each other
Yeah.
and wean parts we don't like out without saying a single
Oh,
word.
okay.
Just how it feels when we're playing it, like if it doesn't feel right, or I mean, you can tell. Or
Like
we
Eric
can
will show
tell.
things a certain way against how
Yeah.
I am because he has an idea of where it's going, you know, like, and then it'll stay that way.
Oh, wow.
I think the newer stuff's going to be a lot more aggressive too than the last album.
We were constrained on the last album because it
Yeah.
went through the early stages of Decaysia with a drummer before Tom and a singer before our previous singer Paul. We had started recording, so we had boundaries. We had songs laid out as far as the guitars and the bass and some of the drums, but no vocals. So vocals had to fit a certain way. Tom came into the band having to put drums to make them fit, you know, while still putting his stamp on it, which he did a great job on. But it's hard to do that. Now we're actually enjoying the sexiness of writing
Yeah.
as a
The
folk
sexy-
group.
No, it's sexy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
image
every song in the next album would be like who is here right now. Yeah, no one's gonna have to come in and have to like work around and like figure out ways. Like I had to come into like 7 of those songs on the album that are already done, you know, and it's like, yeah, but you know, I think it came out really well, like he said. I think I'm very proud of it. So, but this next time around, it's gonna be awesome.
And do you have a date for when that might be ready to go?
Not yet. Right now we're getting started building our studio in the house that me and Tom live in. And then once we get that, Tom's going to be the engineer, and we're going to start laying down the tracks of what we already have. So I want to put a timeline on it.
This year.
It'll be sometime this year.
Or
We already have.
Next year. I'm sorry. Next year. This year is not.
This
yet.
year will be a
it's
little
not
rush.
14
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah.
A little bit
Really
of
have
rush
a,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah. 2 weeks. We'll have an album out.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll build a studio and
That's
finish
very
it.
long.
Yeah, we'll
to-
studio finish
love
out
to
in 2
go.
weeks.
Yeah.
No, at
Just not gonna
2014, you know, maybe around the same time we released the other one, maybe earlier, who knows, but, I mean, we don't want to rush anything.
We have some good stuff in store. We're doing things differently this time. We're in talks to release the next album under a label. Somebody we've been close friends with for a very, very long time.
And is a supporter.
Be very supportive of us. They're family to us. It only makes sense to join forces with them because they've created an amazing brand in the scene. And it's hard to do in the metal scene. Really hard to do.
As far as like finding someone like that support? Like
Getting support all over.
But then someone who works at it and who loves it because that's what they love.
Not only on
Yeah.
the front end and the back end of promotion, but making the relationships, you know, going out of their way to make sure that things are in stone and solidified, to build a foundation and to build off of from there and from there and from there. So they're very, very personal and business savvy people who do what they love and are lucky enough to do what they love. And we will benefit from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's in the future for us.
Great. Where do you see the Lehigh Valley metal scene heading?
Currently or in the future?
I guess in the future.
In the future, if we can, one show at a time, rebrand things on what it is, I see good things for it because bands have kind of broken the chains of looking to others and they've kind of gone to each other. And it's kind of like a non-official musicians union, you know, working closely with the venues and whatnot to get into the places that'll support the music and bring the people out. It's very important to us.
And do you find that there's like some trouble with that? Like in this area in particular, to find that? To
There
garner
is.
that support?
There is. I mean, whether it's tarnished relationships at venues or with people who do promotion, or, you know, there's little nooks of you got this music here, you got this music here, that music there. It's very segregated and everything. There needs to be just ultimate communication between all musicians. So,
Sometimes a venue just gets burned out of playing metal, like the Sterling, which we were reviving.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a mecca.
Yeah.
It comes back to like brotherhood and like the network of support that like other metalheads see the value in the music itself and don't want it to die. They want to be able to go to a local show and see these
Yeah,
metal
and see
bands.
decent
So,
acts,
Yeah.
people with, you know.
you know, bands will support each other or just anyone who sees the value in it will hopefully come.
I'm sure they will.
It's the same, you know.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. It'll be my official first metal show.
Like you don't have to drive.
So, I just hope I don't get pummeled.
No,
No.
make sure
I
you
like
stand
it
out of
though.
the way.
That's the good thing, is that when you
If you do get knocked
I'm
down, they'll
short.
pick you
I
up
like
at
to
least.
stay in the front.
you go to
So I
a
need to stay close to the stage.
if you go to a metal show, you see that there's areas where, all right, these people don't want to mosh.
Yeah.
They're not going to. Nobody's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
If you want to be in the mosh pit, you go into the mosh pit.
Okay.
And it's not like there's some guy sitting at the bar just elbowing you in the face. You know,
Yeah.
there's
Right.
people know where to go for
Love
that.
this song.
So
Bang!
if you want to be up front and you want to watch the show, you can be up front and off to the side and watch the show and get a great view.
Okay.
And you don't have to have, people getting thrown at you and
That's okay. Most people usually just stand there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people-
Like you're
a lot of people,
saying,
until
the
they're
view
drunk,
of
they just
Sterling,
stand
there's
there.
not a
Yeah.
bad seat in the house.
No.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like if you didn't come to see the show, too bad, you're gonna come and see the show. Because you're
Yeah,
gonna hear
because
it.
you're
You wanna
gonna
just
hear
sit
it
in the bar?
regardless. Yeah.
If you want to just sit at the bar, all you have to do is this, and you're watching.
Yeah.
That's
So,
it.
There's no, yeah. No
Yeah.
bad seat.
It's the longest. I think they
Yeah,
said
it's
it
the
was
longest bar in
Pennsylvania.
east of the
Is
Mississippi.
it really?
Yeah, I think in the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's the longest bar?
So
Yeah. It's,
Wow.
It's like
Yes, it
150 feet.
from
Yeah,
the
it is a
stage,
long- it's a
from the
long
stage,
goddamn
you look down and you can see everyone who's sitting at the bar. You can
Yeah.
see along the entire thing, and it's all the way up to the front door. You can see.
And
You
the
know, what is it,
speakers
like
lined
200
all the way down that
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
The speakers are ridiculous.
Yeah, they are. That
They have-
sounds
They have an
system.
excellent sound system
Yeah.
there, so
And it
everything
sounds
is
like
clear.
We're excited.
it sounds like
Yeah.
they're doing a lot of
Absolutely.
like they're opening their doors to other things, to other
Yeah, which is
artistic
great.
stuff, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal. So
Well, the past few years they've had, they kind of narrowed it down to one basic style of music.
Like dance music.
Yeah, it was pretty much just dance music. They wanted a younger crowd in there, and that's fine. But it also kind of ruined the whole idea that that was the mecca of heavy music in the Lehigh Valley. That's where everyone went. We had people coming from out of state on a regular basis to see shows there,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it was
DM
huge.
hardcore guys
And-
were all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At one
and
point in time.
it was the place where if you walk in, if you've been there once in 3 months and you walk in again, the bouncer probably still remembers your name and shakes your hand as you walk in. And there was just definitely a family type vibe there, and it just kind of fell apart, with change of management.
yeah,
They weeded out the metal shows and got rid of them, and
Yeah.
that was that. So now that's what the revival is pretty much all about, is trying to bring that family environment back, and not like of course not with the children, because
Unless
can't
they
really throw
rock
a kid
it.
in a mosh pit. But,
It's still a bar.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it is still a bar.
okay.
Good little boy.
Last question: do you have any upcoming gigs or anything that you would like to discuss as far as projects are concerned, or where our viewers can find you on the internet?
Yeah. First off, if you want to find us, Facebook, it's Decaysia, Decaisia. www.decaysia.com. And each one of our pages is tied to the Facebook, so you can individually be friends with us, be stayed in the loop with what's going on. January 18th, Reviving Metal at the Sterling. Then February 22nd, a couple blocks down from the Sterling at the Fearless, we're going to be supporting acts for Suffocation coming to town. And then the studio should be built by March, so see what other shows are on the horizon, but we're definitely going to hunker down and get started on the next album.
Great.
Hell yeah.
See a lot of good stuff coming from.
Yeah, lots of good stuff on the horizon for 2014.
Awesome. We're very excited to see it. So thank you again for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Decaysia.
Thank
It's been
you
a
for having
pleasure.
us.
It's been awesome.
Outlet
And,
Unplugged rocks.
Yeah. And
They
you
have a
can
very nice living room.
catch these guys, like you said, on January 18th at the Sterling for Lehigh Valley Metal Revival. And as always, keep it loud and local.
Yeah.